Let's start with my favorite character, Rueduciel. Rueduciel's arrival during a Holy War flashback changed the entire battlefield. Two commandments were forced into their injured form in order to overwhelm him. In order to invoke an injured form, a demon must have a power level of 60k plus. So imagine him bodying two guys like that before having to call for reinforcement from Tarmio and Sario. So let's take a look at his arsenal. Rueduciel's affinity is arc magic. It has a variety of uses as base magic. Rueduciel also wields the Blessing Flash. This grants him an excessive buff speed, as well as protection from curses and commandments. In terms of movement, Rueduciel has also shown a portal creation ability that allowed Vivian to deep throat his blade. Offensively, Rueduciel is as hard as a rock. His swordplay can even outmatch Escanor's fighting prowess. He's a master at arc manipulation. His arc beam is a potent long-distance attack. He also has variations such as an arc beam volley, which is able to penetrate a boosted gallon and is released critical over. Arc has many uses, and Rueduciel's biggest crime was committed with this technique, Omega Arc. After sealing the target within, the Arc Prism reverts his victims to a state between life and death, to be disintegrated. Dead brother perished in this manner. The Omega Arc Beam is another manipulation of Arc. This time our boy Zeldris had to shrug off the massively, excessively ranged attack. Boy, was that a hell of a greeting. His secondary uses of Arc seem to include an Arc Blade, an invisible force field, and healing barriers. All Archangels have self-healing capabilities due to the magic of Arc. Brainwashing techniques like Breath of Bliss won't be as effective against an opponent like Zeldris, but techniques like Invigorate might come into play. The arrival of the Ten Commandments did indeed yield the mystery of Zeldris' appearance, but now that we know his backstory, I'm itching to see him take some ass. No homo. He was able to confront a pre-death Meliodas in a melee scuffle with no effort. And 3,000 years ago, he fucked Giant King Delore in the ass like it was nothing. I hope this Zeldris hype is justified in these next few chapters. As forementioned, Zeldris' inventory of power is greatly unknown. His affinity is darkness magic, as it is for most demons. Its use is more varied than arc magic, and it seems to do a bit more, including healing, although it doesn't return damage or lost limbs. The power God allows him to inflict curses and seal magic as if he were the Demon King. His healing ability has stopped both the Giant and Vampire Kings, just in case you thought it was some typical Naruto suit. The power God may also greatly increase his offensive potential, but that's yet to be proven, as it could very well be that Zeldris is just a fucking monster. Offensively, he's a darkness manipulator of a top class, such as when using Hellblaze. He also has a variation, Dis Irae, or Last Judgment, which is Hellblaze imbued lightning that destroyed an entire floating island temple of the goddesses that was targeting Rueduciel. His sword draw is faster than Meliodas, and he speed blitzed the Giant King. Rueduciel might get his salad tossed if he isn't careful. In conclusion, this is going to be the main fight. Rueduciel hasn't been given any special additions as far as we know for being the leader of the Archangels. His strong offensive ability won't be able to just roll over Zeldris. With Mayo's reveal, we learned of certain techniques that affect demons especially, like Arrow of Salvation. If Rueduciel is capable of a similar technique, then the playing field is a bit more even, though it's clear that Hellblaze is going to be a huge factor in this fight, in terms of nullifying healing. I'm putting my money on Zeldris. Our protagonist will probably end in a compromising position when Meliodas returns,